You live at the bottom of the hill where there is a beautiful rushing stream, okay? And at the top of the hill, there's a little village that has a shortage of water. So you decide that you are going to haul buckets of water up the hill, and the villagers are willing to pay you $1 per bucket. So you sit back and say, okay, I live next to this stream. The people on top of the hill have no water. They're looking for water. They're going to pay me $1 per bucket. All right, that's what I'm going to do. So on the first day, you haul 10 buckets of water and you make what? 10 bucks. Now, you love this because it's like, okay, well, I'm a hard worker. And if I can make $10 a day, why can't I make $15 a day? So you start moving, 15 buckets of water. Well, 20 buckets of water in a day is kind of a stretch. But over the next year, you work really, really hard. And except for a few days, you make about $20 a day because you're moving 20 buckets of water per day. And then one day you get really tired and you trip and you sprain your ankle. And you cannot move buckets of water for 3 weeks. And no one else that lives by the stream was willing to work as hard as you did. So besides not making any money for 3 weeks, the village once again has a water shortage. Well, then one day, you've got this brilliant idea. And the brilliant idea is that you're going to build a pipeline that will feed water from the stream at the bottom of the hill up to the village. Now, building this pipeline is going to take a full year to complete. And during that year, you're going to struggle financially because you don't have time to haul buckets of water. But you also know that the villagers are going to be really happy when this pipeline is complete. In fact, you find out that there is a need for 100 times more water than you've been hauling. And they're willing to pay for it. So you spend the next 12 months working really, really hard building this pipeline. Well, when some of the villagers saw that you dropped the ball from hauling, buckets of water, they started to haul the water. And they laughed at you for working so hard at this crazy idea that you have that you're going to build a pipeline from the stream all the way up to the village. In fact, there were a couple of moments where you even questioned whether you were doing the right thing because your competition was collecting the money hauling buckets of water that you used to haul. You were broke because you were building and working on your pipeline. Now, once the pipeline was complete, the water began to flow to the village and, every single day, all night, fresh, clean water flew to the village. And you were really, really happy. And the villagers were really happy because for the first time, they had an abundant supply of water. Now, you and your spouse, you decide to take a 6-month vacation while the water continued to flow to the village. And the village people applauded you for your vision. Some of your friends told you that, hey, you got in at the right time. And others said, oh, you know what? You just got lucky. Other business owners came to you and said, hey, listen, I'll pay you. I'll pay you for your consulting services. And a couple of them even encouraged you to write a book. So the question is, how does this apply to what we do? Guys, well, selling the product and signing up customers is like hauling water up the hill. After a while, it gets tiring and some serious limits as far as income potential. You've got some serious limits there. The big money is in what? The big money is in the distribution. In the beginning, it's really, really important to get some customers so that they will be loyal, long-term users. But the big money is in the distribution of the product. So what we do is we build a pipeline, okay? A group of motivated people is your pipeline. And the bigger your pipeline, the more volume will flow through it. So let's say that something happens and you need to take a break, right? You've built this pipeline and you need to take a break. Well, if you're just a customer gatherer, you're going to have a little bit of income stream. But if you're a pipeline builder, guys, you can walk away for a while and still have a substantial income. Now, let me give you another example. Let's say that you purchased you were able to purchase, let's say, bottles of Coca-Cola for $1, and you could resell them for $3. Okay, now do the math. That's a pretty hefty profit, right? Well, you got really good at selling them to stores and you start a route. Well, you got so busy because you're really, really good at what you're doing. And by the second year, you had to set your alarm at 4 a.m. to make sure that you're on the route by 5 a.m. And the demand was so high and you are so good at what you do, you didn't get home until 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Okay? Now, you're really happy, but you're really tired. In fact, you're beginning to experience this thing called burnout. Even though you're making great money, you're fatigued, you're tired, and you're somewhat frustrated. So you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, the light at the end of the tunnel is what? It's an oncoming train. Well, your friends kind of turn you on to an idea of soda vending machines. So instead of running around like a crazy person, you can now focus on placing machines all over the city. And when people deposit money into those machines, you get paid. In fact, people are going to put money in those machines day and night. They don't have to worry about a store being open. People walk by a machine, they put money in it. Well, this machine and these machines represent a pipeline. Each machine gives you what? Leverage. Okay? A single machine. Now, this obviously example purposes here, but let's say a machine costs $2,000 and you decide to get 10 of them. So for $20,000, you start your pipeline. Each machine produces a profit of $400 a month. So from your 10 machines, you're netting what? $4,000 a month. And for the first time, you can take a week off every single month and enjoy some free time. And it really doesn't affect your income because people are still putting money into those machines. The machines represent your pipeline. Guys, if you focus on sales, you're going to make a little bit of money and you're going to get burnt out. But if you focus on distribution, you can create a lifestyle freedom. Okay? Now, here's something else to consider. Let's say that the Coca-Cola company wants to add a new product. And so all you have to do is just put another button on your machine and your income goes up. So if you have 10 machines making $400 a month and the company adds a new button to the machine that represents 10% of your sales, well, just by adding the button, your income goes up by $400 a month. And what did you do? Guys, you did absolutely nothing. But here's where it gets really good. What if you had 100 machines and the company adds a button? 100 machines producing $400 a month is $40,000 a month in income. A 10% increase represents $4,000 a month increase per machine. So guys, I hope you're getting this. So how does this all apply to what we're doing? Guys, if you have, let's say, 10 active associates and the company launches a new patch that increases your sales by 10%, well, then your income goes up 10% times 10. But if you have 1,000 active associates and the company launches a new patch that increases your sale by, 10%, your income goes up 10% times 1,000. And what did you do? You did nothing. You did nothing to enjoy that increase. So let's say, for example, that you're really, really excited about international expansion. In fact, you know people in Mexico and you're waiting for Mexico to open. Well, 3 years later, the company opens Mexico and you are poised at the border, ready to sprint across to the finish line. So you go to Mexico, you start recruiting like crazy, and you're an animal. I mean, you are great at this. And you recruit 10 people your very first month. It's like, way to go. Well, while you were waiting for Mexico to open, your friend who is sidelined to you, not even in your organization, your friend from San Diego was building his team. He was building his pipeline. In fact, those 3 years, his pipeline grew to 5,000 associates. He personally signed up 3 people a month, and those 36 people turned into over 300 distributors, new every single year, which developed into 5,000. And of those, he had 100 of them that spoke fluent Spanish. So when Mexico opened, he and his 100 distributors signed up 5 distributors each in Mexico. You busted your butt to sign up 10, and the month the company opened Mexico, his team sponsored 500. Why? Because he had a bigger pipeline. He had a bigger pipeline. Guys, the person with the biggest pipeline wins. Listen, you can make a little bit of money by signing up customers, but you can make a lot of bit of money and secure an income stream building a pipeline. Your lifestyle is in the pipeline. The pipeline represents freedom. Volume flows through that pipeline. So how do you do this? How do you build a pipeline in network marketing? Guys, you all know. You all know. It's you show the product and the opportunity. You get this in front of people. You get these patches on people's skin. Some people will want to become customers, and other people are going to want to build a team. And the more you focus on learning the business of distribution and speaking the language of distribution, the stronger your pipeline is going to be. Guys, how many times have you heard me say that we're in the business of building groups of people, a whole bunch of people, to do just a little bit? We want a whole group of people to do a little bit. And I talk about the example of go getting 3, who get 3, who get 3, who get 3, who get 3, and so on. Guys, that's the power of duplication. The big money is in building a pipeline that will flow volume. Distribution is the path to wealth in our business.